All right, what's up guys? We're gonna share a couple shoulder tips for you this week. So the first thing is if you're having pain with reaching overhead this way or this way, you're gonna try this out. Arash is gonna demonstrate it for us. So Arash is gonna get his arm set up. We're gonna do this motion, which is abduction. You wanna find either you can start here or you can bring it here. And basically, he's just gonna push into the wall as hard as he can for 30 to 45 seconds. The goal is to keep this below 3 out of 10 on a pain scale. And if you're having a little bit of sensitivity or pain, that's okay. But again, you're gonna do this for 30 to 45 seconds. And then after that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna test again. You're gonna reach up overhead, reach out to the side, and see if that changes it. So if you didn't have pain, why? Okay, well, a couple of things. This isometric contraction is going to help with some increasing blood flow, as well as it's going to decrease sensitivity. And it's going to provide this analgesic effect or this pain relieving effect. That's short term, but in reality, we want to get long-term gains. And this really gets a really good isometric rotator cuff contraction. And we provided a ton of articles and a ton of really good posts, some of our favorites since we started this. And it's all geared towards the rotator cuff.
So I'm going to go over a couple things for the overhead athlete. So a couple of overlooked things oftentimes is the lumbar spine. So when you're going overhead, go ahead and go overhead, Craig. So what you want to do is avoid lumbar spine extension when you go overhead. So go ahead and extend at your low back. So that's compensation number one. Compensation number two is minimizing thoracic spine extension. So that's the mid-back area right here. So what you want to do is make sure to get good extension here. A lot of times when people don't have the adequate thoracic spine extension, they're limited, and what happens is they'll minimize their amount of shoulder mobility. So thoracic spine extension is point number two. Point number three is going to be scapular movement. So what I mean by scapular movement is just go ahead and hold up top. So right here you can see that Craig's scapula moves this way. This is called upward rotation. A lot of times the serratus anterior is responsible for this motion. So we have a ton of things on serratus anterior which will help with this. So go ahead and come back down. Good. And you may see some winging. Serratus anterior may also help with this. Number four is the shoulder itself. So for the shoulder, go ahead and hold this. Yeah, you want to avoid overcompensation with the upper trap. So oftentimes strengthening the lower trap will help with this. And at the same time, you want to see a good divot right here. That's how you know that he has good shoulder mobility itself. And with this comes a lot of rotator cuff strengthening. So with this articles that we've attached to this and posts that we've attached to this, you'll find some good exercises to really help with rotator cuff strengthening.
Good. What's going on, guys? So I know if you notice and you follow a lot of our videos, we do a lot of horizontal abduction movements, a lot of pulling with the elbows high or in a Y formation. And the reason why we do that is because we're trying to target and work on the scapula. We think of our shoulder, we think of our arm. The entire arm sits on the scapula. That's the only attachment that we have under our entire body. It's not that our shoulder joint is all of a sudden attached to our thorax and our ribs. It literally is only attached to the scapula, which then sits on the thorax. So that's why having a strong scapula is so important. It's like having a really big house, a really strong house on really shitty stilts. The stilts of the scapula, the house is our shoulder. If we have a really strong shoulder, we work all our delts, we work big shoulders, big biceps, big triceps, but we have a really, really weak scapula. It doesn't matter how nice our arm looks, we're going to develop some shoulder dysfunction and some weakness down the road. So again, work on all your pulling motions, work on all your rowing motions. Have a good day.